Hello, hello. I'm Nilza,
And I'm Emma,
and this is
Unnies.
BL,
Talk.
a BL podcast. Through this podcast, we'll take you through our thoughts and experiences with everything BL, share our unpopular opinions, your unpopular opinions, and everything in between. For today's episode, we'll be focusing on two main dramas, actually, one for me, one for Emma, that we're currently watching, and that is obviously currently airing, and just talk about it, what we think of it, what we're liking so far, or don't like so far, and then just carry on. All right.
So, as Nilza said, we're going to talk about the drama that we're currently watching at the moment. Only one drama, otherwise it'll go on forever. I'm just going to mention about the drama itself, like a brief synopsis of the drama, and then episodes it's got to so far, things that I like, things that I don't like, and so on. So you get the general idea. Okay, so the drama that I've picked is the Tyler Khan Enchanté, which means it's a French word which means nice to meet you. So in the drama, you have one of the main characters, Theo, or Teal, as Thai people would say, and he lives in Thailand for a short while with his family. And then he moves to France with his grandmother, and he's there for about 10 years. During that time, he goes to school, he learns, he gets a good education, he learns to, be an independent adult. And then his nan passes away suddenly. So then he's moved back to Thailand with his parents. And then he meets his next door neighbor again. So in his childhood, he had a next door neighbor, and then he meets them again. And his childhood neighbor is Ak. Apologies. And whilst he is getting to know Ak again, he ends up going to the same university as his friend. And during that time, they are getting to know each other, and there's a little bit of chemistry there already. And but obviously, it's still building, and they're not really recognizing that there's something there, or they're like Teal is kind of not really adjusting to the feeling, or is not really sort of gone, that's what the feeling is. Whereas Ak has kind of gone like, oh, I know how I feel, but I'm not ready to say anything yet. So it's got to that point. And then I would say from the last episode till now, where there's a book in the university library, and it says Enchanté. And in there he writes in the book, and it says something like, I'm so bored, or something. And someone writes back and says, oh, if you're bored, you can talk to me in the same book. And they sign it off as Enchanté. And Teal sees this and thinks, huh? And he writes back, not expecting anything else, but thinking, oh, well, they can't hurt to, send something back. And he does. That's then where it kind of like, okay, who is this Enchanté? Like, who is this person talking to me and says that they understand me and knows how I feel? So that's from last episode. From this episode, which is now on episode 4 currently, where he has 4 suitors that all come forward and they say, I'm the person that you are looking for. I'm Enchanté. So there's 4 guys, and these 4 guys are all ambassadors or high figures within the university. So kind of like a class president, but more like a university, whole university. So they all say, I am Enchanté. So Teal's confused and thinking, you can't all be Enchanté. I'm only doing it with one person. So he's trying to work out who it is. And Ak, being the best friend that he is, he's trying to be supportive and helpful. But you can see the jealous looks that he gets when he's around certain people and the feelings he gives off. Everyone else can probably notice it, or maybe they can't see it. But from our perspective, you can see he is quite jealous. But he's not saying anything, and he's still helping his friend Teal to work out who Enchanté is. On the cliffhanger for number 4 at the moment, which is his peer mentor, Paul Pa, who comes forward and he says, I'm Enchanté. And he goes, I'm going to prove it to you by writing in the book that you took. And they both, like him, Teal and Ak, they both compare the writing and they look exactly the same. So he's thinking, okay, that's him. But Teal doesn't look all that happy about it. In fact, he looks quite pissed that it's him. And after that scene where Paul Pa admits that it's him and that he says that he likes him also, that he likes Till, that he wants to get to know him, he becomes quite clingy and holds on to Till a bit. So it feels like he's got a hidden agenda. To be fair, I feel like all of them have a hidden agenda. Like all 4 Enchantés that come forward, they all have them. The only one I don't feel has so much of an agenda is Ak. But again, we're on episode 4, so we'll see how that goes. At the moment, I feel like they're all there for Teal for a reason. They've all come to him for a reason, but so far.
Okay. I think, in your opinion, do you reckon, do we think the neighbor is Enchanté? I mean, if we go by GMM storyline, the neighbor has to be Enchanté. But even if it's not, do you think
Mm.
Theo will fall in love with Ak, neighbor, without? I only seen clip. I only see like parts, and I wasn't paying attention as I was watching it because I was always working as I was watching it. But do you reckon he's already in love with his neighbor and he's just coming to the realization?
I think at the moment there's feelings there, and I'm pretty sure he knows that there's. I'd like to say he actually knows. Scratch that. Scratch that. I don't think Till knows exactly what it is that he's feeling. He knows there might be something, but I don't think he's willing to do anything about it just yet.
Mm,
Like he's not to go, okay, like I feel my heart going dum 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 dum. Like maybe it's not even that, or the fact that he ends up going to act all the time. Those two are quite inseparable throughout the whole 4 episodes so far. Like despite all the other people that have come forward towards Teal, Act has been around him all the time and been a good best friend as it should be. I don't feel like Teal knows just yet. He knows there's something, but I don't think he's willing to do anything about it just yet. And I feel like it's too early,
mm,
but I'm sure his best friend Ak wants to do something, but just not yet. I think he's going to wait and see how his feelings go. Like he wants to, well, I think he's waiting for Till to kind of realize, the person looking for it, I'm standing right here. Like, hello, I'm right here, kind of thing. So I feel like he's just kind of waiting for that click or that spark or something that happens. Who do I think is Enchante? I've looked at a few comments and I'm considering I've not read the book for this at all, so I don't know how this is going to go. So I heard that all four Enchantés, the characters in the book are actually a lot worse in the book than in the drama. So I'm a little bit curious as to how that's going to pan out. But in terms of Enchanté, like, got a little bit sidetracked. But in terms of that, I feel like I'm not sure because it could be Teal pretending to be Enchanté to say to actually,
what he feels.
um, actually, I do like you. I've now noticed that I do have feelings for you. Or that it may be Ak. He's the one that's enchanté. Considering people gave me a few clues in the comments, like Ak, the first word he learned was enchanté. And the book that he read was that one as well. So
Mm,
again, just a few little clues here and there. It feels like that. But I feel like this can go either way. It could be some other person who we don't know, and this entirely different character who's just staying within the shadows and is actually enchanté and we don't know.
okay. Okay, sounds like. I mean, I still need to catch up with the. I think I need to rewatch it from the beginning, but especially the last two episodes because, yeah, as I said, when I watched them, I wasn't paying much attention. I was mainly
Yeah.
hearing. So yeah, so I'm more clued up. I guess I was like still on the because I just feel sorry for Enchante having started now because it started after Bad Buddies and
Mm.
it's just such a big like a big pair of shoes to fill.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
if it was after like Still Together or Together the series or something like that, or even after what was it, Tonho and Sean Lati, I would have been much more excited about it than I was. But now, not me is taking all the thunder for me, at least.
Oh, literally, I agree. Yes, literally taking all the thunder. I just want to mention, for not me though, I feel like that's an underappreciated drama. I
Yeah.
know there are quite a few fans out there who do like the Lacan, but I definitely highly recommend it. It may not be Bad Buddies, but it could be almost to that same level,
Mm.
almost because of the acting, the production,
Even the storyline itself, like.
yeah, even the storyline, everything is done in such an aesthetic way that it's something that's wrong is made in a beautiful way.
Mhm.
Something that looks ugly and doesn't look pretty, and it's made into a nice way.
Exactly. All right. On that
Yes,
note, I'll go for my one.
yes,
So the drama I want to introduce is another Thai drama. I had to think a lot about which one I would introduce because I want to do this romantic error also. But I was like, there's only two episodes yet. So as a result, I'm going to do You're My Sky. So another Thai drama that started this year. I'm currently watching it on Viki, but I think it's on a few other platforms that I know of. So just like a summary, I'm just reading it off my drama list because I really don't want to make it longer than necessary. So Torn is a first year college student, university student who loves playing basketball and dreams of becoming a high level player. Although he is committed to success, he is reunited with Tupfa, but he's just known as Pifa. So we'll go with that. An older former basketball player whom he used to know and who is now put his own sporting ambitions on ice. Torn feels attracted to Pifa, but is unsure about whether or not he should tell him about his feelings or worries that by doing so would cause issues between them. But as they spend more time together, a bond of friendship develops, and Torn tries to convince the older brother to return to the sport, basketball, which he had given up. But could this all end up turning into love? Question mark. However, their hearts and sport hopes are not the only ones on the line. IE is hoping to win a scholarship to study abroad to Japan. To do so, he will need to secure high grades at the university. Although he's trying to get good grades so he can get that Japanese university scholarship, his head is turned over, head over heels, I guess, by a football player with dazzling good looks. Description right here, it's not me, even though he's good looking, threatening to divert his focus away from his schoolwork. Meanwhile, two relay team track runners find themselves attracted to one another despite the fact that one is dating the other's sister. Exclamation point. Yeah, so basically, as by this beautiful summary, I couldn't have done it better. Um, there's three key couples. So the main one, Tofa and Torn, so Pifa and Nongtorn. Torn is a first year university student, and Pifa is third year student. They're both sports science. Then there's Ai and Sen. Sen is a first year university student. His specialty is in football. That's how he got into university. And Ai is a sports science also, but he's third year with Fa. And then the third couple is Dome and V. V is the one with the sister. He's a second year, I think, sports science student, and he's a track runner. That's how he got into university. But then, because one of the older students got injured when he got in, he was asked to replace that student in the relay running team. And as a result, he was paired up with Dome, his sister's boyfriend.
Oh,
Yes, the cast is new to me except the one that plays Pifa, which is Tay Chayapat. He was in Gen Y, Y Gen the series, but because of the scripting and stuff of the show itself, I didn't enjoy his performance. But now that I'm seeing him here, I'm like, so it was the production team's fault, not his acting. Obviously, he must have improved a bit as well, but even just the way the other drama was written and portrayed, we weren't engaged by watching it. But in this one, it's totally a different case. So yeah, the funny thing is, like Dome and V, they were obviously V is second year and Dome is third year. They've met each other obviously because Dome is dating V's sister, but they weren't
yeah.
close or didn't talk to each other. And I guess since they were in different universities at that time, they weren't that close. But now, as we go on, I think V always felt something. So yeah, he
Mm.
just made a way to not turn that something into something else. So I think that was the case. So once they started like getting closer and doing exercises together and things like that, he started feeling whatever as well. But all right, the first initial episodes, it started reminding me of Don't Say No the series because the focus was also in basketball.
I
But
was gonna say I got a strong feeling of that as well.
yeah,
We were talking about the synopsis for the drama. I got
yeah,
a Don't Say No feeling as well, really strongly. I've not watched it yet at all.
yeah.
But yeah, even I had that kind of feeling too.
But the difference is in Don't Say No the series, I felt like basketball was just a prop because
Yeah,
the students needed a sport to do. That was it. Either Fiat or Jazz character. I mean, Fiat first or Jazz character Fiat and Leo liked basketball like that much. They were that there was a passion or something like that. I didn't feel that. While in this one, from the first episode, the first episode was kind of like a reminiscent of how they got there. So it starts off with them going through the what do students go through when they join university? The thing where all the freshers go through that.
like the slang term. What is it like the slang term? Like hazing.
Hazing, yeah, that's it. So going through the hazing, it wasn't a hazing because no one was being punished when doing being told to do anything they wouldn't like want or anything. It was kind of like a freshers party. One of the senior members like introducing the new students to the older students, and that's where V got to show his past feat. So that's how we started. And then when Torn looked up and saw Pifa, that's when his flashback took us back to where they met. So basically, Tufa was playing basketball. He was going home from having played in the local park with his basketball ball. And then when he saw this child behind a locked gate, basically, from a house. So he
Mm.
went out and talked to the little boy. And then his boy was saying that his uncle put him there and told him he wasn't allowed to pay out because he wasn't home. So he wouldn't get into an accident, which was being the case, apparently. So he just kept him company, told him about basketball. The kid didn't know anything about basketball then. And the way Fa told him what basketball is, what his
Mm.
goals to join the national team and play under this specific coach who will bring us surprises in the future. It even made me feel passionate. And I used to play basketball, so it made me go back to my own childhood memories with basketball. So that left like a really strong impression. And then he said he would come back, and then he came back another day, and they like he talked more. And then whenever the uncle would leave the gate open, they would go and play, and then he would bring the child back and everything. So the cinematography, it was so well done, and it was so like vivid. You would live the memories basically going through. And then we go back to the present, where the MC that's coordinating the freshers party, like introducing all of the sports and things like that. With this, one is waiting for the basketball turn. It doesn't come because there's no representative for the basketball team.
Oh,
and and you can totally see the disappointment in his face. You can also feel Far side, because then they take you to what Far has gone through as well. But you can literally feel Tone's disappointment, because I guess by that time, Fa is probably his idol. He's kind of a crush, and the guy that made him love basketball as much as he loves it now. And they even like promised to join the same university, to join the same youth team, and then the national adult team. And he did all of that. I mean, he got into that university and everything. But once he gets there, his idol is not playing basketball.
oh no.
Yeah, exactly. So you could see his pain, but
Got it. I
yeah,
could feel that. I could feel that kind of. I can imagine the kind of pain you would feel.
yeah. But Far
Mm.
had his reasons, and
Everyone has their reasons for
yeah,
anything.
and we get to go through that with him as well, and we end up understanding. So yeah, so that's why I say the basketball is different. All of the sports, not just basketball, because in this one, as you watch it, you feel that each athlete lives and loves the sport they're representing very much, because it's part of their day to day. That's all they talk about it, and that's what brings their relationships with others closer as
Mm.
well,
Okay.
and more.
It seems like a good drama, so definitely on my watch list.
Yeah,
My watch
you need to watch it. And then once we get to episodes 3 and 4, we get surprised. I was surprised at least, because as we get on episode 3 and 4, all the couples start communicating. Torn starts breaking down the walls that Fa built across those years with basketball. And
Mm.
getting through him, he says that he's going to create a team. So if he managed to get people to play with them and wins the fresher games, Fa needs to
Yeah.
join him and form the university team again. And he gets through it, and through that they get to talk, and Tone gets to hear Pa's side of the story, and he comes to understand them, obviously. And like communication in this drama, oh, it's so beautiful. It's just like chef's kiss, beautiful, with all couples actually.
Like that is okay.
Exactly. And then as they going through that, V and Dom start getting closer. They stretch each other. Dom has this problem with the muscle in his groin area, where whenever he over exercises, it literally hurts a lot. So
Mm.
V does all the stretching, all the massaging. You can imagine things are getting somewhere. But
I can imagine already. Yes.
but the issue is obviously because V knows Dom is dating his sister, and he feels guilty. And as we get to like the most more recent episodes, it starts to have like a physical impact in him, because the closer he gets to like the bigger his feelings for Dom get, the more anxious everything, if guilty, if he starts feeling all of this more as well, and start
Yeah,
getting and actually on the most recent episode, episode 7, which is the current one now, the next episode will be on Sunday. He literally threw up before a competition because his sister went to visit. They were about to have a competition. His sister went to cheer them on, and she bought snacks for both of them. And it was literally just before Dome told V, because V said they need to stop doing that. So it was after, even though they haven't done anything, but the thoughts are there, which counts also. But yeah, Dome told him that he's going to break up with his sister because even when he's with her, all he thinks about is V. So when she comes in to like give them snacks and then tells Dome she loves him, V literally it gets physically sick and it throws up. And then by the preview, it sounds like his panic attacks are getting worse, getting more regular and more severe, and is having physical impact on him. It broke my heart when I saw it. I literally started crying.
oh, bless you.
It's really, I can't, because I adore V too much, and it's none of their fault. Obviously, Dom he's a bit has a bit of guilt because he should be honest with his girlfriend, because I think it was a case of that there were hints here and there when he talked about his relationship with her. He was very vague about the answer, but I think it was a case of he wasn't into anyone and the girl was pursuing him with so much persistence that he just said yes.
Okay,
So I feel like if he was honest about it, probably they wouldn't have gotten to this situation. But obviously, he's not a very vocal person.
I can understand that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that I think that's what making it worse. And obviously, V is very like he has a really. It's like you can see him in every episode. He's giving everyone like the bestest, using bad grammar because he is the bestest advices and stuff. But he can't do anything about a situation because it's outside of his control, and he hasn't done technically anything wrong. I just feel for him.
So far, this sounds like an interesting drama in that I feel like it's going to address a few issues, normal issues that people deal with. Like I deal with anxiety and depression. So the fact that they're doing anxiety in this drama and addressing it, it feels like, at least people are kind of open their eyes to it a little bit more. Maybe they won't understand it entirely unless they're suffering from it too, but they can get a gist of like, this is what the person will go through. So I feel like this is a great eye opener for those who don't know, or for the ones who are actually suffering and feel like, there are others out there who do have it too.
Yeah,
I feel like that's a good thing to address. It's something that a lot of people, especially now, actually suffering from it. So I feel
yeah,
like this is a good, especially in the eastern side of the world, that they're addressing such a taboo subject.
yeah.
So
It's really bad, and I want to see how it'll play out in the upcoming
really
episodes.
intrigued to see how it'll play out as well,
Mm.
considering you meant how the panic attacks are getting more severe and impacting the character. So I'm intrigued to see how that's going to pan out. Obviously, it could get extremely bad,
Hmm.
or it could get worse and then get better.
On the other end, the third couple, that it was the most surprising to me because they're like the jokester couple, as I like to think of them. Because
Mm.
I is like Mr. Perfect. Straight A student, as I said in the beginning, he's looking like he's getting ready to get that scholarship to go study in Japan. He didn't have the best of first impressions of Sen because he was very much relaxed. He gets to classes not on time, so it was like a thing of like Tom and Jerry kind of situation. But then Sen needed tutoring. He asked I to do it because he's the best student in that subject. I think it was anatomy. They had an exam coming up. Obviously, gave all of his good notes from the previous years to Torn. But for he didn't want to teach Sen because Sen was very public about how liking him and declared it out in the open. And I is a reserved person, and he never dated either. So everything is very new to him, and he's a reserved person, so he doesn't like to be like on the people's mouth, so to say. So he was
Yeah.
doing everything to stay away from Sen without realizing that he was already in too deep into Sen's business. So there was just all like a facade, I guess. There's this scene where Fa and I are sitting in the canteen, like in the study period, and I asks Fa how does he know whether he likes someone or not, and then Fa started giving like, oh, you only think about him. You whenever you're apart from them, you want to be closer to them, you want to touch
Yeah.
them, those kind of things. And then he starts connecting the dots, but to ignore it when Sen comes to ask him to teach him again, he says no. So to annoy him, Fa tells Sen that there's these two twin girls who are like they're known for being very pretty all throughout the university. They can
Mm.
they can teach him. So in front of him, very loud and clear. And obviously, I doesn't like it, but he doesn't say anything. So when and then, but he keeps thinking about it, and then Sen is being like tutored, not so much because the girls are just on their Instagram putting stories of Sen, and I seeing that, so he can't even focus either. So he goes to the canteen and like kind of rescues him, and then gives him like a pack of notes as well, similar to what Fa gave to Tone from his previous years. But it had a post-it saying like ice property. And Sen takes the post-it from the document and puts it in his chest. It was literally the cutest thing ever. And he does that while laughing, like, that naughty boy smile that only those boys that know that they can get away with anything because
Oh
everyone
yeah.
loves them. Yeah, he literally was one of those smiles. And I didn't say anything, but he didn't complain either. And all through this, they're not dating yet. It's just Sen in his cheap face, like hitting on him. And then like the following episode, Sen said it was going to take I for like a weekend retreat, but he doesn't know where Sen's taking him. When he gets there, it's his grandma's house.
Oh.
More like a mansion, to be honest. But yeah, and his grandma is like she's basically she was rooting for us. She was rooting with us for them. She sets him up in the same room, even though it's a mansion with many rooms. I'm pretty sure, and they do the deed. Like I was so shocked in that night because they're technically not even dating. It's I's first boyfriend, first everything.
One night stand, but without actually saying, "Let's go out."
Yeah, and the situation was very funny, and I'm like, how can they be the first couple to do it? It was out of nowhere. Literally, it was out of nowhere, but it felt so right because even though they were on their date and everything, they were in the same mindset, and
Yeah.
they are sure of their feelings and everything. So I feel like it just felt right, but it was literally like very unexpected. We were it took me by surprise. I don't know about everyone else that's watching it, but yeah, it did take me by surprise.
Okay.
But yeah, that's where we are at this point. So now we have San and I. They're kind of they haven't said they're dating, but I mean they've slept together, and then Torn and Fa they're great together, just getting through the basketball scholarship championship thingy with
Yeah.
the coach that turns out to be like an evil bastard. And the issue is V and Dome. So I'm excited about the coming episodes.
I feel like eventually they will all become couples
Yeah,
after every obstacle that gets thrown. Well, not every obstacle, but most of the obstacles that get thrown at them, they will come out of it and they will get together.
yeah. On this note, let's go to our next corner. Be
Yes.
else in your area. This because there's another one that is similar that just started. I think started last week because I've only seen one or two episodes of it. It's called Our Days, and it's also basketball themed, and it feels like more in line with Don't Say No the series as opposed to You Are My Sky, because I feel like You Are My Sky for me it's nearly Bed Buddies and Not Me level.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm like I'm very happy. I'm excited. I don't care about what anyone else says. This drama is great.
What happened to Sotos?
Yeah, yeah.
It's gone from the list.
I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. So I'll have to rewatch Circus again just so I can go back to my roots. I think because this year the BL industry is like they're being disrespectful. They're just slapping me with good stuff. They're just making it harder and harder for me to carry on with my Sotus love. I'm not even sure if they're on the 10. No, they still need to be on the 10, top 10. Yeah, they still have to be on a top 10
I
list.
don't know about that. The more dramas that come up, the more they're getting better at the
Yeah,
healthy relationship, production, that director, the script, the characters,
yeah,
the cast, everything is getting better, and they're all getting to a level of bad buddies, or even if they can, to a bar that's higher than that, and
exactly.
they can. But at the moment, yeah, there are a few out there that's starting to get to that bar. That's they're pushing it a little bit, pushing it a little bit.
Yeah. But Sotos did survive the testament of time because, I mean, it's a 2016, 2017 drama. There's 5 years. For,
That's true.
for
That's
it
true.
to still be rated this high, I mean, it was good. But other than those that we discussed earlier, I'm currently watching First Love Again, Kissable Lips, and Semantic Error, all Korean dramas. And literally just today, Tuesday, I saw another new one on Viki that started. It's called Old Boarding House. It's about the two main leads. Like one is the son of the owner of the boarding house, but he's forced to be there to work because he lost his house's deposit money in a scam.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and the other one is like someone that's coming to stay at their boarding house. I'm also
Mm.
watching the a Chinese one. I think I mentioned it before, In Your Heart, and then Taiwan's Other Than Not Me and You're My Sky. I'm also watching A Cutie Pie, which started last week, and it's another very good one. I highly recommend. Enchanté, as I also said, physical therapy, and the newer one, Our Days. What about you, Emma?
My goodness, that's a lot of dramas. I
Yeah.
don't think I'd like to say I'm watching that many, but I don't know. So just finished Paint with Love. So that is just now finished and it's ended nicely. Everyone's got their happy ending. Turned out the way it should. A little bit of frustration. My God, Singto, I actually wanted to smack him over the head sometimes. But yeah, it all worked out. So finished watching that one. Just like Nilza watching Not Me. My God, I would rave. We're going to rave about this drama when we do our special on it, and we're going to rave about it highly. So be prepared for that. And what else am I watching? I'm watching Semantic Error as well. This is on episode 2. So considering I have not read the manhwa, so but having been told about it, I am intrigued by it. The drama, it's a little bit slow at the moment, but I'm still looking forward to it and see how it pans out. So it's a very feel good drama. So looking to see how that goes. I'm also watching F4 Thailand's, and that's on can't even remember what episode 6, 7, something odd, something like that. And this one, I'm already starting to get a little bit frustrated with like the mother in this drama. She's a great actress. For me to hate her, she's doing a great job. I'm watching that, and then what else am I watching? Um, actually forgotten what I'm watching. Enchanté, which I mentioned.
Mhm.
Cutie Pie, I have yet to watch, but as Nils has recommended it to me, it is on my to watch list, which I will hopefully start within the next day or two if I don't get too busy. And
Okay. What about any that you are looking forward to?
the one you sent me a day or two ago, was it Cherry Blossom? Or
Oh, Cherry Blossom. Yeah, After Winter. Yeah, I'm also looking forward to that one. Oh, and I think we've mentioned this. Both of us have mentioned this before. I'm also looking forward to obviously Keen Posh Between Us, which we finally have some sort of pilot,
yes,
and Cupid's Last Wish with Earth Mix, which is currently airing on Disney Thailand, Disney Plus Thailand, and Hotstar or something like that. And I'm trying to use VPN to access it, and I can't. Literally, it's really keep. It's annoying me. And then there's a couple on ICE, the other WeTV app. Dear Doctor, I'm Coming, and what's it called? So the Cupid versus Lawyer. It was those two. Yeah, it's another
yeah,
two shows that I'm really looking forward to, especially the Dear Doctor, I'm Coming, because it's kind of like physical therapy with like grown adults, men, and not just teenagers, basically.
yes, I had to agree with you on that. It's nice to have grown men
Mm,
or older than university or high school.
yeah. We've covered a lot today already, so shall we wrap it up? Unless you want to share anything else?
Um, Not for this episode, no. I'm gonna keep some things under wraps until the next one, or when we start to do our special episodes, and there are going to be a few of those,
Okay,
especially the
exciting.
ones that I'm very fond of.
Indeed. All right. So thank you all for tuning in to today's episode. We hope you've enjoyed and looking forward to our next one. As usual, please follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Unnies BL Talk. That's UNNIES Talk. You can send comments, send unpopular opinions through our Gmail or just by DMing us. Our email is unniesbltalkaltogether at gmail.com. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.